Good morning and welcome to In the News with myself, Sapphire Gray. This week is the 23rd of August, so welcome to a new week. I hope you had a lovely weekend. And we are bringing you the news live stream from YouTube and LinkedIn. I hope you enjoyed today's news. We have a lot coming up. If you have any questions, don't forget to leave your name in the banner in the feeds so I can communicate with you and say good morning. And this week is a very good week because we're going into a bank holiday weekend. So I hope you've got some really good stuff planned. I'm myself in the news, having a barbecue. So in this week's news, we're talking about landlords and holiday lets starting to use virtual tours for marketing. Did you know about that? Are you aware of that? A virtual tour company says the kind of property viewing is now being adapted by holiday let operators as well as mainstream letting agents as well. And many Snappy, Made at Snappy says with UK preparing for a bumper summer, the 33 million people expecting to enjoy staycations before the autumn, the holiday let business has rarely been busier. Well, this is excellent news considering we came out of a pandemic. In cities, one of its clients says that the photographs are great, but the holidaymakers know that they can be manipulated to show the best angles. A virtual tour puts the prospective guests in control, which is great as well. They can wander through the whole property online, look out for windows, stay in the garden and view it from every angle. This gives greater confidence to make a booking. Ironically, it also makes our job easier, they said, as one more guest can see before and less can be more reasonable complaining about when they arrive, which is very true. When you're looking at holiday lets, you want your guests to really enjoy where they are going to be staying. So when they get an opportunity to do a virtual tour, they can less complaints will then come through because obviously they're saying, well, I saw the property beforehand and now I'm going there and it's even better than what I actually saw. Key holiday managers to maintain 50% of occupancy across its portfolio during lockdown by focusing on business travelers. For those properties, they were unoccupied. The company took advantage of the lockdown to start building up its stock in virtual tours. Excellent pivot. Photographs may be a 90% plus holiday properties as possible. So there you go. When you're looking at doing a holiday let, if you're into that type of property, it's really good to do a virtual tour. Even with other investments, doing a virtual tour of your property allows people to see it without leaving their home. So this is really good. In avenues, first ever ASBO injunction served on the landlord to stop illegal evictions. Camden Council in North London has become the first local authority to secure an anti-social behaviour injunction against a landlord in order to protect private tenants from illegal evictions. It says the council secured the injunction against landlord was aged 29, working in partnership with the Met Police. Camden brought the case against them, repeated attempts to illegally evict and harass tenants. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a good thing to harass your tenants or, try and get them out, using bully tactics? I don't agree with using bully tactics. I believe in going the legal route to evict your tenants. That way that your tenants are secured and so are you legally as well. But Camden Council served a HASBO and it's the first of its kind as well. It says HMO licensing rogue landlord task force are continuing to improve the standards in Camden private housing sector, empowering renters to take actions, helping good landlords to run successful businesses. Well, I agree with that. The legal action taken in this particular case was necessary and it was the last resort. Our message to landlords and letting agents is that we are here to work with you and to provide advice and assistance first to ensure you meet all your obligations. What do you think about that? Do you think it's a good thing to serve an ASBO on a landlord who is a rogue landlord, or do you think it was a bit too harsh? Please feel free to share in the comments. Available residential property listings across the country are at an historic low, according to property data firms. It says listings at the historic low, according to Home Search. The company, which focused on its services in helping agents target specific homes to find and win new instructions, said that 708,000 individual properties is tracking as currently on the market. Some 480,000 are currently under offer or sold subject to contract. This leaves just 246,000 still available, with 67% of the entire active market already under offer. It means that on average across the country, each estate agent branch only has approximately 12.6 available instructions to sell. The firm says it may account for why many would-be sellers are holding back because of fear that they have nowhere to move to. Well, the way the markets have been saturated, it's now it's slowing down again. But this goes to show that a lot of people are holding back from actually selling their property, because do they have anywhere to go? Because if you sell your property, do you have anywhere to go afterwards if you're looking in the Pacific area as well? Sam Hunt, a chief operating officer of Home Search, says every day we all read a new article about the high buyer demand is, and how when a home is priced well, it often sold within the next few days, which is good for the one who's selling, after 20 plus viewings and multiple competing offers. But it's only when looking at the data you see the extent of the listing crisis, as I've heard in terms, she says. We have therefore they've branched out more than 12.6 available instructions, and there's likely to be fewer with less, but an average as well as below where we are. And many of agents we speak to would expect this. Hunter concludes, with less than 1% of the entire UK stock currently available to buy, it is no wonder frustration will be. Sellers are hesitant because they believe they simply have nothing suitable to buy. What do you think about this? Please share in the comments. Do you think that the housing stock is depleted? Do you think that there is enough housing stock out there? I done a live the other day with some clients to show them that where to get the stock, where can you find properties in this booming market. And even though it is now slowing down, it's still booming in the sense that there is investors out there. There's people that want to move home. So what do you think that the shortages become? Why is it there in the first instance? In avenues, there is such a growing concern as well in property investments. Landlords with houses see dramatic uplift in capital appreciation. Well, that's good news. Landlords with houses in their portfolios will have a dramatic increase in their capital value, according to Zoopla. It says demand of all types of houses, from terraces to detached, has now more than doubled in the current market, creating a disparity in average prices growth when compared to flats. Now, I like to buy houses. I rarely buy flats unless I'm flipping them. And that simply means I buy and renovate and sell. But I don't hold on to flats. I like houses primarily because I think that they rent easier, and the type of market that I target is families. So therefore, I believe flats are houses are a lot better for them. It says a new report from the portal shows that family homes are most popular amongst buyers, with demand of 114% compared to levels typically seen at this time of year between 2017 and 2019. While flats and houses recorded almost equal prices, price growth of 1.4 to 1.9% respectively, in June 2020, the pandemic search for space has driven prices for houses up 7.3% over the past year. By contrast, demand of flats has failed to keep pace, and as a result, prices growth are lagging by 1.4%, and some rates of growth as seen last year. Price growth of houses is highest in Wales at 10.2%, in the Northwest at 8.8%. Its weakest is in London at 5.6%. Meanwhile, prices growth for flats is highest in Scotland at 5.2%, and East Midlands at 3.7%. So you can see by these statistics, looking at the wider market, Zoopla forecasts that price growth will edge upwards in 6% in the coming months before coming towards the end of the year, as in the impact of the extent of stamp duty holiday unwinds and the economy landscape becomes more challenging. Overall, buyers' demand coupled with constraints supply signal that the price growth will continue to rise in the coming months, peaking around 6% before falling back in between 4 and 5% at the end of this year, 2021. What do you think on that? Do you think it's going to fall, or do you think it will still rise for houses? Please share your comments. I'd love to hear them. In avenues, research by a buy-to-let specialist property suggests that landlords are largely underdetermined by the new slew of government restrictions imposed on the sector via stamp duty and stamp duty charges. In recent years, just 10% of landlords have exited the sector. The research suggests while 90% say they are thinking of quitting over the next 5 years, of that 90%, most were considering selling their portfolios because of tenants-related issues rather than the fiscal or government policies. Now, if you're a current landlord, have you ever considered selling your portfolio because of tenants rather than what the economy is doing to us? Please share. It says of that 19%, it says the director, said investing in property remains one of the safest options you can make in this day and age. And so it comes as little surprise that a majority of landlords remain confident with their investment and have no plans to exit the buy-to-let sector. It's also interesting to see that the government has failed to intimidate the nation's landlords despite a consistent campaign to reduce profit margins and force them out of the sector. In fact, more landlords have decided to leave, having grown tired of dealing with tenants, than they have because of various government tax changes. Now, I've got a nice portfolio and I would not leave based on the government tax issues or anything like that. And I have really good tenants, so I kind of sit in a sweet spot. What do you think? Is tenants been really hard to handle? But I do believe also that there's a way of handling your tenants. Do you treat them well? As in, do you treat them that it's their home? So do you live up to that standard? And what type of tenants do you have? This is why I like to teach the strategies alongside the tenants you like to have, because then it shows the type of person you are and what you can handle, giving you a really rich portfolio by matching the strategy and the tenants that you have to your property, which I always advocating for. Because if you building out your portfolio, you want to have the right tenants for the types of properties that you want to invest in. So I'm always sharing ideas of matching your strategy along with the tenants as well. It says it also interesting to see the government has failed to intimidate us. Yes, it has failed. So it looks as though the government will have to actually build some more homes if they wish to address the current housing crisis, rather than rely on hard-working landlords to boost the nation's property stock. The survey was of 797 landlords conducted a couple of weeks ago. So, in avenues, Foxton's lid on rents and the demographics in London rental market. Last month, says the rental demand in the last 3 years across London, according to Foxton's. The agent says the gradual lifting of coronavirus restrictions has allowed people to reconsider their living arrangements as workers return to offices and universities think about opening their door. This is in conjunction with the slight decrease in new properties coming to the market, has shown early signs of recovering in rents achieved across the capital. The increase in activity throughout Q2 2021 follows the trends of the pre-COVID years and demonstrates that the market is returning to normality, Foxton's believe. The agent reports that there has been 61% increase in demand in June over May, leading to a 44% increase in renters per new instructions in the same time period. Applicants' budgets have increased 2% month on month as renters begin to increase their budgets to secure the right property. June also saw the second month of sustained growth in rents achieved with a 5% increase month on month. In terms of area of capital, the agent says that there is an 83% increase in demand compared to 2020 and June 2021 in East London. Even Central London has demand growth of 67%, potentially due to people looking to return to the office based on lifestyle and having more social options in the centre of the capital. In its breakdown of renter demographics for London in June this year, Foxton says 40% of its tenants were from London, 36% were from elsewhere in Europe, and 13% from Asia. The rest of the world contributed to 10%. 18 to 24-year-olds contributed to 20% of the tenants. 25 to 29-year-olds accounted for another 30%, and 30 to 34-year-olds were 20% as well. What's your thoughts on that? Do you think people are returning to work and feeling more safe and upping their budgets to get the house they want? Would you up the budget to get the property that you want if you're renting? In avenues, a surge in homelets in corporations set up during the pandemic. Wow. The rate of which holiday let businesses is being set up has more than doubled during the pandemic, according to Hampton's agency in research for the Financial Times. In the first 6 months of 2021, some 1,401 holiday let companies were incorporated, up to 83% from the same period of 2019. This is a far in excess of rates of incorporation by to-let companies, which was 61% growth. Hampton says 93% of those incorporating for holiday lets only one mortgage property, suggesting the surge is down to individuals seeking the tax advantage of business registrations for their holiday properties. So what do you think of that? The Financial Times points out those buying in their own name will pay tax on profits up to 45%, whereas who registers as a company pay tax at just 19%. There's also additional fiscal perks if owners let properties designated and furnished for holiday lettings. Please share in the comments. Would you Are you in the holiday let business? Are you now renting out your properties? Are you saving yourself on taxes? I'd love to know. Revealed where the cheapest euro property hotspots for sunshine. Wow. If you are a holiday, if you have a holiday home abroad, is your dream, well, why not? While others like the idea of investing properties in the sun, bringing a good income each year. For many years, Brits have been snapping up properties in hot countries like Spain, Italy, and Portugal in search of either a sun-filled lifestyle or a savvy investment asset. But where are the cheapest hotspots in Europe? And for those looking to secure a sun-soaked property while not breaking the bank. So research has shown, a study was done that in Italy is the number one, um, Berex, Bax, Portugal, Leon in Spain, Lachey in Greece, Maine in France. The analysis found that properties in Italy is the best value in Europe, a location for a property in the sun. If you want any of these locations, I'm happy to share them in the comments as well. And situated in the south of the country, nestled in the countryside, there is really good value here because it says they start from 29,674. So, I mean, if you're looking for a nice little place in the sun and you're looking to have a holiday home, 29,674 is not bad. And I will share this with you. In avenues, on the up and up is by BTR Investments, beat previous records. Letting agents Ascend Property recently described build to rent BTR as the feature of renting. An analysis of data from the first quarter of 2021 reveals a recent increase in investment in this sector. The estimated total by BTR investments from 2012 build to rent to the percent were analyzed by Ascend Properties, finding suggestions investors, development, and renters will favor this sector as future growth and anticipation. Purposeful homes designed specifically for rental have an audience according to Ascend Properties because their recent statistics reflect this. So why are build to rent investments becoming more prevalent? In the UK, build to rent sector broke previous records in the first quarter of 2021 with an estimated 1.2 billion investment, making the investment in this market 335% higher than it was in 2012. With new rental developments in the works, such as Markers Yard in Birmingham and rental giants John Lewis also joining the BTR revolution, it is evident that the BTR investments are on the rise. Managing Director Ascend Properties says the benefits of build to rent are multi-layered. For tenants, it offers a new exciting alternative to the private rental market. The sector focuses on vibrant urban living and built around the ethos of community that is missing from traditional rental markets. A new generation opts to rent as a lifestyle choice. We all see the demand in the build to rent soar even more. But the greatest benefits are that for the developers and investors, build to rent is at the core. A very simple model because this is a relatively risk-free venture. Developers are, for example, less resilient on collaborations with third parties such as estate or letting agents to find tenants for the units, thus increasing the speed and efficiency of filling out a new development. What's your thoughts on a build to rent? Do you think it's a good idea? Share with me in the comments. I'd love to hear what your comments are about build to rent. I think it's a really good idea when you're building something to rent it out, because therefore you're going to get your tenants instantly as well. And because there is such a shortage of stock, when you're building to rent, you know exactly what market you're targeting as well. So in avenues, staycation surge offers silver lining for holiday investors. With schools have now broken up for summer holidays, and let owners are now bracing the boom of bookings. Have you been able to book a staycation with you and your family? According to brand new research from Sky's Holiday Cottages, there are in five, 62% of planning to enjoy a staycation as their main break. I mean, we're coming to the end of the summer in regards to school holidays. But what do you think? Was it easier to stay at home than actually look to go abroad? I want to hear your feedback on this, because a lot of people have now decided to do staycations than rather stay at rather than booking out anywhere abroad, because it was easier to stay at home. But did you find it easy to book a property and stay in the country? There's lots of hotels that are also doing where people are going just to the swimming pool or spa day and things like that. I think staycations are really going to be coming into its own, irrespective of whether we could travel abroad or not. I think we're starting to rediscover our beautiful country, and staying home to do that is a wonderful thing as well, boosting our economy over here, which always helps. In avenues, would you know if in avenues, would you know if your investment property had it? Ooh. And what are we talking about here? Subsidence. Along with Japanese knotweed, it's one of the issues that can have the biggest impact on a home's value and the ability to sell. But would you be able to spot subsidence? You wouldn't be alone if you're not. New research suggests that 4.4 million homeowners aren't aware of how to spot it. The finding out from LV General Insurance reveals that more than half of homeowners, 51%, don't know the signs of subsidence are, which are critical to prevent it from getting very bad at any stage. With more mini heat waves and scorching temperatures expected this summer, homes across the UK are the most susceptible at the risk of subsidence. The insurance firm is urging homeowners to understand the signs to ensure any issues can be identified and dealt with quickly as early as possible. The company says that last year it has witnessed 49% increase in subsidence claims, with larger claims costing around 30,000 and some even reaching beyond 500,000. The peak in this volume has been sparked by the significant rise in building surveys relating to house sales, as well as summer last year, where the UK experienced the third hottest day on record in July and a significant heat wave during early August. The last major spike in subsidence before occurred in 2018, with a 51% increase from previous year due to another exceptional hot year. So what to look out for? Subsidence is when the ground beneath your property sinks because of the soil being unstable. Promisingly, a large majority of UK homeowners, 87%, said they do understand what subsidence is. But when quizzed further about the signs, the understanding of homeowners was much more limited. The data from LV shows the percentage of the population who managed to spot true and false signs of subsidence, revealing that homeowner property buyers need to really guard guidance on what to look out for. Now, I'm going to give you some true and false facts. So the true facts are large cracks in wall, indoor and exterior, 71%. Sinking foundation or slope floors, 68% knew this. Sinking or dips in pathways or driveways, 53% knew this. Doors and windows difficult to open or stick, 48%. Wallpaper tearing with no signs of damp, 25% knew this. And these are the false ones. Tiling, tilting large trees outside your home, 30%, false. Bulging floorboards, 28%, false. Damp patches appearing, 13%, false. Signs of mold, 9%, false. And musty odors, 8%, false. For those who have spotted signs of subsidence in their home, most common responses were called the insurance, 51%. Meanwhile, just over 22% had professional checks undertaken by building surveyors. But it is always worthwhile getting, if you are worried about something and you don't understand it, it's better to get a survey done on your property to prevent anything going wrong as well with your property. To buy or not to buy, the research found 43% of home buyers would still consider buying a property with history of subsidence. They said that this number, 29% of home buyers, would only commit to a property if the building survey confirmed it was safe, and further 7% admitted they would strategically use it as a negotiating with the price cut. By contrast, another 7% of homeowners said that they wouldn't consider at all. What would you do? Would you consider a property that had you've been told that it had previous historic subsidence? Share with me in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So that brings us to an end of our In the News with myself, Savvy Sapphire, this week. If you have any comments, you can see it going across the banner. Please feel free to reach out to us at contact@savvywomen.co.uk or visit our website, www.savvywomen.co.uk. Tonight, I'm hosting a webinar that will help you to find the property strategy that suits you. If you'd like to join me, I will put this in the comments below. Just register. It is free. It's this evening at 7 p.m. and I'll be sharing some great insights. I'd also be doing a backstory of how I got into investing in property. I think sometimes when you're teaching people, they want to know, well, where did you start from? And tonight I reveal all. I'll be sharing with you how I started out using 3 key strategies to actually get into buying properties. So if you'd like to join us, it's a live webinar via Zoom tonight. I will leave the link in the comment. Please feel free to register. It is free, and I'll be sharing some really great insights with you tonight. So I want you to all have a wonderful week. And if you, as I said, if you've got any questions you would like to ask, please pop them in. If you're watching a replay, please type in #replay, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you have. Have a lovely day and have a lovely week, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye for now.